Michael Gungor is a leader, songwriter and co-author of the Dove-nominated Song of the Year, Friend of God, and lives to help other people encounter God through worship. Michael, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
Thanks for coming in.
Now, Michael, tell us about your church and your role there and your day-to-day life.
Well, we actually are helping start a church in Denver, Colorado. It's called Bloom, and I'm helping lead the team there. As the worship leader, actually, interestingly enough, we have a couple guys speaking as well, and I'll speak once in a while, but I kind of lead the service as the worship leader, which is it puts kind of a different spin on the service. Yeah. But it's just a few months old now, and we're just loving it. It's just a lot of fun.
And tell us what the goal with that is in terms of impacting and reaching the community, because it's more of that kind of a church, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we moved to Denver about 1.5 years ago with the hopes of just figuring out for us a different way to just be the church. I had been in a large church as a worship leader for several years, and while it was great and I'm thankful for that season of my life, we had felt like it was starting to become kind of a job, that we were starting to become kind of just like a figurehead in the church, like just this stage guy, and it didn't feel like I was meaningfully living out faith with people in a meaningful way. So we moved to Denver and just kind of quit our job and moved to Denver. And you know, we do music and stuff, and we travel, so we hoped that would suffice to survive on. And so let's just figure out what it means to be the church. And one friend moved there with us, and we started after a while, we started just meeting together in our house and praying and like, what does it mean to be the church in Denver? Like what? And because we believe that the church is supposed to be a gift to its city, you know, like the city should start becoming a better place because of the church. And we believe that there's one church in Denver, so we're like, what's going on? We started visiting different churches, and how can we join what's happening and add to what's happening? So for the community, it's basically just a bunch of us that feel like we're missionaries in the city, and we're trying to find things together to do with justice issues and stuff like that, but also just taking our callings, or individual callings, seriously and being involved in one another's callings, and house churches are a big part of it. Have this thing called the apostolate, where we're helping people recognize their individual callings and kind of sending them into that. And so it's just a lot of different little things. But
a lot of your songs talk about personal restoration. What's your heart behind that?
Well, personal restoration, you know, the gospel, I think, is so large, and sometimes you get these two sides, that you've got some people that just focus on the personal me and Jesus kind of thing, and then some churches that simply focus on the social elements of the gospel. And I think that it's both, and that Jesus and his work in the world and in the systems and in the largeness of society, it starts with personal restoration, that the world is healed and the poor are fed and the systems of oppression are broken through the church being the church, and the church is the church through knowing Jesus and through being restored themselves, and those systems in their own hearts of sin and oppression and poverty of spirit and whatever, those things starting to be broken first in the believer, that God would be able to work that stuff out into the world. So I think it's all connected.
Yeah. Well, Michael, it's been great to have you with us today. Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And still to come, we're going to be catching up with Mike Pilavachi. We'll also be showing highlights from the Revelation.